Welcome to Viggy Talks, a conversation show about the creative things that inspire us each and every day. And today, on our monumental 10th episode, we're going to be talking all about the Oscars and all the Best Picture winners, or who we think is going to win Best Picture at this weekend's Oscars. I am joined once again by my fellow movie buff and my best friend and partner in the whole world. It's Mr. Jake. Hi, Jake.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We have our Oscar statuettes in handy, and we're going to talk all about the movies and what we think's going to win, what we'd want to win, and all of the most prestigious films of the year. So, very happy to have you here as our cinema expert. But yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. It was a great year to be a movie fan. Lots of great movies, lots of great performances, a lot of great looking movies. Lots of movies that inspired buzz that we're not necessarily going to talk about, stuff like Saltburn everyone was talking about, Barbie we'll mention, but all these movies, lit the year on fire, and it was a nice year to be at the movies.
So we're going to start this off. If you're not familiar with the Oscars or haven't been paying attention to the Oscar circuit, we're going to introduce you to all of the Best Picture nominees for this year. And in doing so, by reading their descriptions, we're also going to give you our silent review, which means that we're going to react just facially.
Yeah, we're going Chaplin with it. We're going
Chaplin with it. We're gonna just react to how we felt about the movie without vocalizing it. It should be kind of fun, kind of silly. So, what's our first Best Picture nominee of the year, Jake?
So our first movie, going alphabetically, of course, is American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson. Thelonious Monk Ellison's writing career has stalled because his work isn't deemed black enough. Monk, a writer and English professor, writes a satirical novel under a pseudonym aiming to expose the publishing world's hypocrisies. The book's immediate success forces him to get deeper immersed in his assumed identity and challenges his closely held worldviews. So I didn't see this one. So Victoria, would you like to give us your silent review?
Yeah. That's it.
It's good?
I liked it, and it was funny. So I did
did a
little belly laugh there.
I didn't see it, but everyone I know that saw it said it was, a heartwarming comedy, despite the it doesn't sound like it would be too funny or, too heartwarming, but I hear it's a family story at its heart.
Yeah, it was really good. AMC threw it on us as the AMC mystery movie, which is a cool thing that AMC theaters do now.
Yeah.
You buy a ticket and you don't know what it is until you sit down. And it starts, and it was very good. We were very surprised that was the pick, but it's cool that it ended up being a Best Picture nominee, so that was cool. Our next Best Picture nominee is Anatomy of a Fall, directed by Justine Triet. Did she do it? A woman is suspected of her husband's murder, and their blind son faces a moral dilemma as the sole witness.
Yeah, great movie. It's rare you see like a French movie nominated for Best Picture, even though it's a French movie that probably speaks more in English than it does in French, which is very interesting. It's just a little sprinkle of German in there, but great murder mystery movie, courtroom drama kind of dealio. Fantastic performances all around. Great screenplay.
Absolutely.
Great everything is just really good top to bottom.
There's a wonderful dog actor in the movie that I would hope gets some kind of recognition or shout out at the Oscars. I think they should make a whole new category, frankly, for animal actors. And
who would receive the Oscar?
Huh?
Who would receive it?
Him.
The dog? They give it to him?
Yeah, they give it to him. But it's like an Oscar trophy, but it's a dog treat. It's shaped like an Oscar trophy, and they give it to him, and he eats it up. And I would eat that up. So I really hope that they would.
That's good.
Great performance by Sandra Huller, who is in this film as well as another one of the Best Picture nominees that we're going to talk about later, which I wonder how often that's happened. Do you know? Has that happened a lot? I feel like it can't have.
The last time I remember that happening was actually pretty recently. Scarlett Johansson was nominated for Best Actress and Supporting Actress for Marriage Story in lead actress, and then Jojo Rabbit for supporting actress.
Oh, right. I thought it was going to be Robert De Niro with The Irishman and Joker, because didn't those come out in the same year?
Yeah, but he wasn't up for Joker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I thought he was up for Joker. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. He should have got one for Joker.
No. So our next movie, this is a big one. We got Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig. She's everything, and he's just Ken. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get the chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans.
I really liked Barbie. I think I was very happy to see Ryan Gosling as Ken in this one. Being a big fan of his comedic work, like in The Nice Guys, and in a future example, movie's not out yet, but I know he's going to be funny in The Fall Guy.
Oh yeah.
Steven Spielberg recently came out and said he loved Fall Guy, so
Very
much
good.
looking forward to that one. But yeah, really nice to see Ryan Gosling, and I think that the motivation behind casting him as Ken was cool on Greta Gerwig's part, knowing that everyone sees him as this heartthrob from The Notebook to make
Yeah.
him the heartthrob that is now Ken. I think was very cool. Great choice. And yeah, who doesn't love a little bit of Margot Robbie? And I
Yeah,
think
she's
the set
fantastic.
design, yeah, I think the set design in this one was impeccable. Um, so great to see some physical sets and cool
Hmm.
2D, 3D, like live animation stuff kind of happening with a lot of those travel sequences.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, big fan of Barbie. Big barber.
Big Barber.
Big barber.
Love my barber.
Love.
But but yeah, Barbie's fantastic. I like that it's a very smart movie. You know, like there's a lot of jokes that go over the heads. You know, lots of references to like literature and 1940s Italian fascism. It's weird. It's a weird movie. Like if you really think about it, like even though it was the highest grossing movie and everyone in your grandma saw Barbie, um it still managed to be smart and intelligent while also appealing to like a large majority of people, which is pretty cool. I like that it was it was a big swing, big risk,
Oh
because
yeah.
it is a weird movie. Like if you really think about Barbie and like how it exists as a film, like who greenlit that?
Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
it's
yeah.
about a toy having an existential crisis.
I don't know. And they somehow made it very entertaining, which is yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's Gerwig. That's Greta Gerwig. She's the best.
I when I rewatched Barbie, it gave me, especially tonally with some of the humor, like you said, how some of
Hmm.
it goes like right over your head. It's a funny comparison, but it does feel a little bit like Shrek, like specifically like Shrek
Yeah.
2, how like you could watch Shrek as a kid and laugh and have a great time, but you can watch Shrek as an adult and laugh like twice as hard. And it's the
Yeah.
same movie, but like the way they're able to balance like the jokes for both demographics or multiple
Hmm.
demographics at once while making it just as crowd pleasing is like a really really cool spot to find your movie in. So I think the screenplay on this one was really really solid. And I just think it was a lot of fun. Our next best picture pick is The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. A curmudgeonly instructor at a New England prep school is forced to remain on campus during Christmas break to babysit the handful of students with nowhere to go. Eventually, he forms an unlikely bond with one of them, a damaged, brainy troublemaker, and with the school's head cook who had just lost a son in Vietnam. I love The Holdovers. This is my favorite movie of the whole year.
Yeah.
I love Paul Giamatti. I love Divine Joy Randolph. I love Dominic Sessa. I love the coziness that this movie has, even if Alexander Payne didn't make it with that coziness in mind. Just to see these people come together under these circumstances and have such heartwarming interactions is just
Yeah.
everything I could have ever wanted. And that's all I have to say about it. It's the
Oh,
best.
it's great. Instant Christmas classic. Like I will be watching this every December at right after Thanksgiving like comes its holdover season. It is not Christmas season, it is not the holiday season. It is holdover season
Hold over
because
season.
this movie it's so cozy like you said, like even if Alexander Payne doesn't agree, but who cares, I mean, I think it's cozy. That's all that matters. He could go do whatever he wants.
You could go make
But
another movie. That's
yeah,
cool.
go make another movie.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love Paul Giamatti's character. He's just bringing up all this Roman stuff, which really kills me because I was when we saw it, I was in a big like Greek and Roman history phase, which was very funny,
Mhm.
but it was killing me. Like I'd love to go to a museum with that guy.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. I like the 70s throwback like aesthetic to the whole thing. It really feels like something you pick off the shelf at a Blockbuster that was, from 20 years prior because we're in the 90s, we're at a Blockbuster. So
Right.
you know, it feels vintage and in a authentic way. It doesn't feel like a forced aesthetic. It doesn't feel like a forced gimmick to the movie. It
Right.
feels like genuinely of the time, which is really cool.
Yeah, it feels like you could watch it right behind Harry Met Sally and be like,
Yeah,
these came out the same year. Like it doesn't feel any bit current. It
yeah,
feels
like
like deliciously dated in its whole thing. So I
yeah,
just,
it feels like a movie I've seen 20 times. And in like a good way. Like sure, it's a little predictable in its messaging or like like its plot structure or whatever, but who cares? I mean, that's why it's cozy, is because it feels familiar. And it
mhm,
feels familiar in like a really good way.
yeah.
Yeah. But
So
that's the holdovers.
that's the holdovers.
Our next movie is Martin Scorsese's towering epic, Killers of the Flower Moon. Greed is an animal that hungers for blood. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery.
I only gave it a thumbs up because I liked the movie, not the content at which was displayed in the movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah,
It actually it was my favorite movie of the year. This movie is not for the faint of heart. It is a very depressing movie, very upsetting movie, but it feels so important. Like I left the movie learning something new because it is a true story. Um but I left feeling so upset and I was like viciously I was like in agony after watching this movie. It felt like it was so it felt so wrong, like the events that happen in the movie. And the description that I read doesn't really do the film justice because at its center it's really, you know, a love story. It's really like a romance story. And the question is, does Leo DiCaprio's character really love, Lily Gladstone's character? And w- it's uh, it's so small, but it's so grand in its implications, and it's just such a towering achievement for a director that's over 80 years old now. He's had a career in 5 different decades, and he's still putting out some of the best cinema of the year. I mean, that's insane to have that longevity in any art form, not even
oh,
just
absolutely. Yeah,
just film. He's the man. Can I
he's
curse?
yeah,
He's the fucking man.
he's fucking man. He for him to be able to still cook on that level at that age is insane. And I mean,
It's nuts.
it's it's that different. It's that film brat generation too. I mean,
Mhm.
all of those guys have been all gas no brakes. Like they're
Not
all,
true. Just him and Spielberg.
well, that's who I was thinking of. Was him and
Yeah, yeah. Because where's Lucas?
I'm not talking about George
Where's De
Lucas.
Palma? Where's Coppola? They're
Yeah,
gone, bro.
I'm not talking about that. Well, Coppola's got this year. He's got Megalopolis.
Where's he been though?
I don't know. He's been sitting around. I was only saying that to talk about Spielberg. That was the only.
Yeah, that's besides the point. That's besides the
That's
point.
besides the point. But no, I think this movie's a triumph. I think, yeah, you summarized it perfectly. I think it's very bleak, considering that it is based on truth, and very faithful to the truth for what I was reading in interviews and stuff. Um, so it's just like harrowing to watch. And yeah, we
Mhm.
left that and we went to get pizza after, and we just kind of sat there like
We sat in silence after watching a 3.5 hour long movie where you should have so much to talk about. We
yeah,
had nothing to talk
we
about.
kind of had nothing to talk about. We just had to kind of absorb it. And what's awesome about this movie as well is that you don't feel the runtime at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not one for long movies, but I was strapped and locked in, and my hands and feet were inside the cart, and I was in it for 3.5 hours, and it ended, and I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
After that whole time, I'm sitting there making jokes like, "This is a 4-hour shift at work. I gotta sit at the movie theater, and it's really not that long." And it ended, and I was like, "The ride's over."
Yeah. I
Okay.
didn't check my watch until like 2 hours in.
Yeah.
You know, usually even if I'm liking a movie, you know, I'll check my watch just to see like how long we cooking for.
Mhm.
And like I was like, damn, we're 2 hours in. I thought we were like at most an hour into this movie, and it
Yeah.
was like it flew. It flew.
It did. So this movie is definitely, you do not want to miss it. 5 stars. Sorry what happened though. Oh, well, one more joke. So we're all familiar with Barbenheimer, which is the double feature that
Oh,
was between Barbie and Oppenheimer. Well, Jake and I did the lesser known popular double feature, which was Killers of the Five Nights at Freddy's. And we
yeah.
saw Killers of the Flower Moon, which we just said was 3.5 hours long. We got pizza, and we sat right back in the theater to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And I would have not wanted to have it any other way. It was absolutely incredible.
I would
Not
have
Five
rather
Nights
went
at
home.
Freddy's though. That movie was okay. But
I would have rather went home.
yeah, well, you did that for me. So this, you did that for me.
I
So
did.
I
I
thank
did.
you
Anything for you.
for that. Our next movie up is Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper. Don't you feel triumphant? A towering and fearless love story chronicling the lifelong relationship between Leonard and Felicia Bernstein. A love letter to life and art, Maestro at its core is an emotionally epic portrayal of family and love. Now, I did not see this epic portrayal of family and love, so Jake's silent review is coming up right now.
So this movie was for me a whole lot of nothing. I think it's I like I said I haven't seen American Fiction, but based on what I heard, I think I'd enjoy that one. This one was just it's not a bad movie by any means. I mean, I think it's the best looking movie of the year, like by far. Like this movie is breathtaking to look at. You know, there's half of the movie's in black and white, and then the other half is in, you know, like a very pastel, dreamy looking color, which is really cool. But you know, it really has no through line, no real plot to it, I guess. Um, it feels very fragmented. It's very episodic.
Mhm.
Um, and you really don't know like how much time goes by in certain sequences. And then sometimes it'll slip into this like dream logic, but then it'll come back out and be like really real again. Um, but the performances are good. I mean, Bradley Cooper, you know, does like a typical biopic performance where you know he does the voice of the guy. He looks like the guy. He practiced how to conduct for for what is like a 6 minute sequence. That's the meme.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like cool, but but beyond that, you know, it is like the weakest of the bunch. It has strong directing, strong cinematography, strong performances, but the script is really lacking for me.
Yeah, I've seen stills from it because again I didn't see it, but it looks very nice. And
Hmm.
based on what you said it was one of the prettiest movies of the year. I just really got to give it to Bradley Cooper for wanting that Oscar. I mean, bad doing
Yeah,
everything that he could possibly do for this movie with writing and also no, he didn't write it. He directed it and then also starred as
yeah.
Mr. Bernstein. Um, but
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a writing credit.
he
But
probably does. He
I have
probably
no
has
idea
some
though. I have
involvement.
no idea.
I don't know though. But yeah, I mean, you got to give it to him. Anybody who can do directing and starring in something. Obviously, Leonard Bernstein meant a lot to him for, I guess, personal reasons of his.
Sure.
Sure. But you know, good for him. And if he's happy this movie got made, then I'm happy this movie got made.
Yeah, it was like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
We'll
Not
leave
the
it.
worst, not the best.
It's fine.
So let's move on.
Cool. What is our next explosive movie that's up for Best Picture, Jake?
Our next explosive freaking nuclear movie is Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. The world forever changes. the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer's role in the development of the atomic bomb during World War II.
This movie was incredible. I mean, it's crazy how a movie about a guy like this is this big. Do you know what I mean? Like,
This made almost $1 billion. A biopic about a nuclear physicist made
yeah,
almost $1 billion.
who thought anybody would care about this guy? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But to an extent, that's actually like who cares about this guy? But it's really cool to see Christopher Nolan back to doing some stuff in IMAX. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why it was so successful is because of had such a big, incredible director behind it.
Yeah, yeah. Three reasons I think for its success. I mean, it's the cult of personality around Chris Nolan, Barbenheimer, and Peaky Blinders memes that I think really made this movie like, you know, transcend as his like one of his highest grossing movies. So, only his Batman movies are grossed higher than this, which is crazy.
Right. Um, just really, really great performances from everyone. Very much a who's who. In terms of actors, like
Yeah,
everybody that speaks, you know, like there is
yeah,
not an unfamiliar face in the crowd in this movie. You're like, oh my god, he's in it. Oh my god, there she is. Oh my god, I know that guy. So it's
yeah,
very fun to watch. People that you didn't know were in it are in it, and everyone just really knocks it out of the park. They really blow your expectations away, if you will. So really, really good. A fun pairing with Barbie because they're
mhm.
not similar. But yeah, we saw what did we see first?
We saw Barbie first.
We saw Barbie first,
We
right?
took the Barbenheimer really like
Yeah, we
seriously.
did Barbie brunch, right? And then we saw Oppenheimer
Yeah,
like the evening.
yeah.
But yeah, really good stuff. Another classic from Nolan, I'd say. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean this is like obviously the favorite to win,
Yeah,
the Oscars. I think it's gonna win like everything it's up for,
yeah,
surprisingly. Not surprisingly. I mean, it's a great movie. It's not my favorite of the year, but I think it is comparable to my favorite of the year, Killers, where it's a 3 hour movie, but that first 2 hours like really like barrel through. Like, the editing and the score really propel it forward and make it never really seem boring, even though it's just guys talking in rooms for 3 hours.
yeah.
But it's a great movie. It's Oppenheimer. I mean, you've already likely heard a lot about this movie.
Hmm.
So if you haven't seen it, go see it. I mean, it's going to be your next Best Picture winner, more than likely.
Yeah,
I really don't want to, put my foot in my mouth, but
I
it's
think so.
probably going to
I
win.
I think it's probably gonna win. Yeah, just go check this one out. This one's great.
All right, Viggy, what sad flick do we have next on the docket?
Our next sad flick that's up for Best Picture is Past Lives, written and directed by Celine Song. Nora and Hae Sung, two childhood friends, are reunited in New York for one faithful week as they confront notions of destiny, love, and the choices that make a life. I watched this on a plane, and it was a sad one for a plane. Don't watch this on a plane. That's actually my review of it. Is don't watch it on a plane. But I loved it. It was a very sweet, quaint, and quiet little character study about these two people, kind of grappling with a what could have been type of scenario.
Mhm.
Years after they reconnect after their lives had gone on in very separate paths, and yeah, I think the direction it was beautiful. A lot of the little elements here and there of like how the two characters are drawn to one another, how they're
Mhm.
framed to kind of show that was really really special, and I just really really loved it. I'm really happy it's getting the recognition like Best Picture that it deserves, and I just think it was really good. I'll just leave it at that. I think you should definitely go see it, not on a plane, but in theater or streaming service near you.
Oh, yeah, it's a fantastic watch. I think I think it's one of the more beautiful movies of the year too, like visually. Obviously story wise as well. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a very real, you know, kind of thing that I think a lot of people could relate to, like a what could have been, with like that person that just seemed to run away from you. Um, it's about these, they were childhood lovers, childhood sweethearts, and then she had to leave South Korea to go to America, and then they rekindle twice actually in the movie,
Mhm.
like once as teens and then once again as adults, and it's like the growth you see from childhood to teen to adult with these two people is like you see them constantly converging and converging more and more throughout the whole movie, and it's like, uh this is a heart-wrenching watch, but it's also beautiful, and I think it is like kind of hopeful in a weird way because they both have to do what's best for them, and it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. One of my favorites of the year.
Hmm.
One of my favorites by far.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
get into that. That was good. I agree with all that.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, Jakey, what's our next movie that's really weird and whimsical but good?
Yeah, this freaky little film is also one of my favorites. We have Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Brought back to life by an unorthodox scientist, a young woman runs off with a lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her times, she grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. Oh,
I
Poor Things is great.
I think this movie's great. I think
It's so good.
yeah, this has one of my favorite supporting roles in years, and it's from none other than Mr. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
The number one thing I will tell you about this movie, if you haven't seen it, is you have never seen Mark Ruffalo like this. I mean, it's what I was told before I saw it, and then I watched it, and I was like, he's the Hulk, whatever. This, he has cemented himself as such a versatile actor after this. I mean, he already was coming from rom coms years
Yeah.
ago to then having his Marvel stint to now. It's just so great for this to be his first like really big like post MCU role, and to have it be so drastically different is just absolutely incredible. And I love all of the other supporting actors in this, but of course Emma Stone steals the show. She's one of my favorite character actors, I think. She's not afraid to get weird. She's not afraid to get silly with it.
Yeah.
Between this movie coming out, along with her being in The Curse on HBO with Nathan Fielder, that's a pairing.
Showtime, Showtime, Showtime.
Showtime.
Sorry.
All the streaming apps are the
Yeah.
same in my head. They're
But
all.
it's a freaky year for her because two very weird projects, but both, I mean, both are my favorite things of last year, of
Mhm.
2023. They were two of the best projects on both TV and film.
Yeah.
But well, I love Poor Things a lot. Yorgos Lanthimos has always been like a weird director for me. Is a very like deadpan style, but he kind of breaks away from that in this movie, which is very like not deadpan. um it's a cool spin on the Frankenstein story, and I think it would pair really well with Barbie, surprisingly. Both are movies about
Yeah.
female liberation, and both have their own Ken, and Barbie obviously is Ken, and the Poor Things has the Mark Ruffalo character, which they occupy a very similar role, I think, in the story.
Yeah.
um Poor Things obviously is not a children's movie. Like, you
No.
should not never you should be 18 years old to watch this movie, very
Yeah.
graphic. But it is very funny. It's very it's both lighthearted and very serious at the same time. It tackles a lot of big subjects, very existential. Crazy camera work. That fisheye lens that they go into, like, is it actually goes beyond fisheye lens, and is like the way he distorts the images on screen is really cool. The set design is fantastical, and very just like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, it almost feels real, but it's not real.
Yeah.
Um, it's a really cool movie. It's a really cool movie.
I have the absolute pleasure of describing our final Best
Oh,
Picture nominee. This year is The Zone of Interest, directed by Mr. Jonathan Glazer. The commandant of Auschwitz, Rudolf Höss, and his wife Hedwig strive to build a dream life for their family in a house and a garden next to the camp.
Obviously, Holocaust movies are a very serious topic and a serious subject to approach, in film, because like film as a medium is going to be it's going to be larger than life, and it's supposed to be a little fantastic even if the movie is realistic. There's so much embellishing that goes into making a movie to make it entertaining, and this movie is like almost anti-entertainment in the
Yes.
way that it forces you to sit with these characters, and there's really no plot, and you're sitting with these horrible people throughout. It's 90-minute runtime, 100-minute runtime, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and you just watch their day-to-day life as they you know control the Auschwitz camp, and the camera never ventures into the camp. You never see what's going on behind those walls,
No.
but you feel it. You certainly feel it, and you could hear it in a couple scenes. You hear screams in the background, or you'll see the smokestacks rising from the camp, and it's like you have that constant reminder something terrible's happening, even though you're watching what is basically a family drama. It's horrifying. But it's horrifying only in its implication. I mean, nothing on the screen is horrible. Nothing that happens in the movie is horrible, but it's all horrible in its implication. And that's what's crazy. It's a workplace movie where
You
the
don't see a
guy's
lot of
job
like,
just happens to be running Auschwitz, and that's insane.
yeah. It's spectacularly frightening in that way. You're just given the slightest reminder, like over a fence post, or in the little moments of silence with the family talking, do you hear something in the far distance? And it's such a feat of sound design and like production design going into this, like to tell this story that's both so close to what it wants to show you, but also so far removed from
Hmm.
it, that like it managed to walk that line incredibly. And it was just horrifying. Like, because you can't, it's weird to be like, this was a crazy movie, or like this was a good movie. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
sitting here and like saying that it's good or that I agree with what's happening, but literally how it was put together, you it's spectacular. I mean, it's insane how well it does what it wants to do, and what it wants
Yeah.
to do is make you feel terrified and really sick to your stomach about what these people on screen are doing. So, good job.
Yeah.
Good
So
job.
it's like the mundanity of work too, I mean, you know, for them, the Holocaust and genocide is nothing more than a board meeting.
Right.
And that's disgusting. And I
Yeah.
mean, the movie, it's like you're totally right. Like it accomplishes everything it sets out to do. But I think you'd agree with me in saying this is a movie I will never rewatch.
Absolutely not.
Like,
I'm never gonna sit down and watch this again, because you know why? Because I'm gonna think about it like once a month. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's a movie that'll never leave your head if like really devote the time to watching it and the brain power to like digesting it. I mean, it serves its purpose after a first watch.
yup, the purpose has been served to me on a plate, and I ate it, and I'm not hungry anymore, so I don't
Yeah.
really need to do this again. But we mentioned Sandra Huller at the top of this with Anatomy of a Fall, and she also
Hmm.
stars in this film, which both movies she gives an exemplary performance. She's
Yeah.
awesome. So really happy to see that she is in both of these, and she is getting recognition for Anatomy of a Fall. But she's just as good in this one as well. So this is a great movie that I'll never see again, but I really think he did a good job at making me feel sick to my stomach. So thanks, because
I
that's
do
it.
want to last thing I want to mention with this movie, on a lighter note. Is it a lighter
I
note?
don't know if we
Uh,
can see on
but
later.
Steven Spielberg, who has been brought up for the second time third time on this podcast, I think.
Third time. Update the Spielberg counter.
Yeah, update the Spielberg counter. You should add one.
I will.
But he said in a little bit of like a like a humble brag too. He said this is the best Holocaust movie since mine, obviously referring to Schindler's List. But I just thought that was a funny quote, just him saying it's the best since mine.
Yeah. No, that's great.
But kind of bars. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a good movie but not about good people. Zone of interest.
Zone of interest.
Now that we've reviewed all of the Best Picture nominees, who do you think's gonna win, Jake? You can who do you think's gonna win and who you'd want to win?
Okay, so no surprise, I said Oppenheimer. I think it's gonna do really well this weekend at the Oscars. Deservedly so. I mean, it's not my pick in any of the categories, but like I certainly can't be mad. It's a feat. It's a feat of filmmaking. My choice to win would be Killers of the Flower Moon, only because I think, Martin Scorsese's still delivering at such a high level. I think him being awarded for that is should happen, and I also think it's a very important too.
I would agree with both of those. I do think that the Best Picture award will go to Oppenheimer. For all reasons mentioned. I think it's an absolute titan in its execution. I think it's going to sweep all the VFX categories. I think the Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor are pretty much locked for that. Yeah. So I feel like, based on the track record also leading up to the Oscars, I do feel like it's going to go to Oppenheimer. My personal pick, I think, coming off of the kind of weird in terms of subject matter win that was Everything Everywhere All at Once, if the Academy goes on this kind of weird route, it would be really cool to see Poor Things win Best Picture.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, I think that would be a really interesting win. That'd be a cool one for the Weird Little Freaks. So that's my pick. I would want Poor Things to win Best Picture.
Wow. I was expecting you to say The Holdovers.
Oh, The Holdovers too! No, I take it back. I retcon that. I take it back.
Yeah, you retcon it?
I retcon it. I need The Holdovers to win, actually. Biblically, I need it. I need it to win so bad.
It's written on the tablets.
It's written on the tablets. It's in the stars that The Holdovers.
It's in those ancient Roman texts. I just translated it from Latin.
Yeah, so on the Rosetta Stone that The Holdovers needs to win. So that's my new answer, actually. Go still in support of the Little Freaks, but I need it for Paul Giamatti to win.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Cool. Yeah, Jake, who do you think's gonna win Best Actor this year?
Oppenheimer is strong with this one. I think Cillian Murphy's gonna win. I think Leo DiCaprio got snubbed.
I think he
do. He definitely deserves a shot there. I'm actually looking up the nominees real quick.
I want Paul Giamatti to win. But I do.
Yeah, he would be my second. Would be Paul. He's fantastic as well.
I think I'm in the same boat. I think Cillian will win, but I want Paul to win. But it is no discredit to Leonardo DiCaprio for his performance because he was incredible. And I'm not sure if it would fall into Best Supporting Actor, but I do feel like Willem Dafoe was also snubbed this year for Poor Things. Don't know. He would probably fall into supporting.
Yeah, it would be supporting.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention that as well because Willem Dafoe did not get
we'll do supporting now, right?
Yeah, so we'll do supporting actor. I do think that this is gonna go to Robert Downey Jr. for
I agree.
Oppenheimer. Was he good in it? Yeah, he was good. Do I want him to win in it? No. Because I want the other Marvel guy, Mark Ruffalo, to win Best Supporting. Because like I said, I've never seen Mark Ruffalo do that shit that he does in Poor Things, and I want him to be recognized for it.
Ditto. I mean, I think Mark Ruffalo should take it, but I mean, this is also on the lowest of keys, the most stacked category. Absolutely. I mean, you have Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, which I haven't seen, but I heard he's fantastic.
He's incredible in American Fiction. Yeah.
De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon would be phenomenal, and Gosling, and obviously the other two we mentioned. Yeah. But Gosling was great too. If he wins that award, I would not be mad.
Yeah, I don't think I would be mad at any win in this category, which I can say for a lot of these categories too. Which is really funny. A lot of these are like honestly, Best Picture. If any, I don't think I would be bummed.
I'm not mad at it, except Maestro.
Except Maestro, I would be pissed off if Maestro won. We'll bump back up to Best Actress for a second. I would want my girl Sandra Huller to win. I would just
really.
I do. I do think so.
Who do you think is gonna win?
I think Lily Gladstone is absolutely going to win.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt in my mind. But Sandra's a bad bitch. She's been in 2 of the best pictures, and
Yeah.
I would just love if she was in it, if she won. But, no, I think Lily Gladstone is gonna take this and run to the hills with it, as she deserves for Killers. She's him. She's the goat.
Yeah. She's
Um,
phenomenal.
yeah.
But I'm gonna throw a curveball here. I think Emma Stone's gonna win.
Yeah.
And I also want Emma Stone to win. I think as much as I love Killers of the Flower Moon and I love Lily Gladstone's performance, and I absolutely would not be mad if she won the award, I think what Emma Stone did in Poor Things, um, not to spoil the movie, but her role in that movie really progresses from, having like a younger childlike brain to being a fully grown adult over the course of, 2.5 hours. And that's a really hard thing to accomplish. And she does it both physically and through her dialogue and through her facial expressions and how she walks, and all that stuff progresses through the film very seamlessly. And I think that's a pretty astounding feat.
Yeah. I mean, another pretty stacked category.
Those 3 big ones:
Those are
Sandra
three
Huller,
big ones,
Sandra
exactly.
Hüller, Gladstone, and Stone.
Mm-hmm. I think any of those 3, I would be happy with a win. Best Supporting Actress. I don't think there's been a solid lock like this,
Yeah.
like, ever. I mean, Divine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers has won absolutely every single award in every other award ceremony leading up to the Oscars. That if she didn't win, I think
It'd be weird.
I would cause a crime. Like, I think I would, like, commit a crime out of uproar that she didn't.
Yeah. So she's your pick, and who you think's gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think it's like this is like a shutout category. Like she's, I think, far and away the best performance in this category as well. But this is like this could be like the supporting actress race when Olivia Colman won, because she lost every award leading up to the Oscars to Glenn Close
Mm-hmm.
and won.
Right.
So if that happens, it would be an upset of that caliber.
Best Director is, I think, I don't know, actually. What do you think?
I think Nolan's gonna win,
Mhm.
Oppenheimer, but I want Marty to win, Martin Scorsese to win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at Jonathan Glazer either, or Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna go Justine Triet all day. I'm
Oh yeah, she would be big too.
gonna
That would be
Justine
really
Triet
cool.
all day because I would love to see that. Do I think
Yeah,
it's gonna go to another man? Probably will. I
it's
do.
gonna be Nolan. It's gonna be like the man, the film bro man.
Yeah, it's gonna be Christopher Nolan. As much as I want Justine Triet to win, I think
Yeah,
it's.
he deserves it though. He does.
Nah, he does deserve it. Me saying this like any of them are non-deserving of it. Like I said, all these movies this year are very, very good.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so not really an upset personally for me at all with any of these wins, but these are just the ones I would want to win. Well, we hope you really enjoyed this Oscars roundup. You can go check out the Oscars this Sunday. We're not sponsored by the Oscars or anything, but just in
They
case,
should.
they should actually hit me up, Oscar Academy.
Yo, you should definitely put our Letterboxd accounts in the bio.
I will. Jake and I log every movie we watch religiously on an app called Letterboxd. So if you want to check out our reviews, they're both in the description here. So have fun watching the Oscars this week, or if you liked our commentary, thanks for enjoying our commentary on these guys. Jake, it's always a pleasure to
Thank
see
you.
you, be near you, talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for watching this unorthodox episode of Viggy Talks. Hope you had a great time watching, and there's plenty of goodies to come this year. So take care, wash your hair, and I'll see you soon.